Hi everyone, welcome to a live webinar with Admiral Markets. My name is Chris. We're going to take a look at the Forex commodities and stock indices charts, technical analysis, live charts in just a second. First, be aware though that this webinar is shown to a global audience but may not be suitable for everyone. Please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact the appropriate entity to find out if it is suitable for you. Also, please note that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This webinar is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this webinar, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. All right. Thank you for your attention on that. As always, just a quick introduction here, admiralmarkets.com, your place to start trading with a demo, with a real account, of course, using, for instance, MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 4 Supreme Edition, which has a ton of extra features besides the normal indicators and tools and items, 60 plus extra features. We'll show some of them in the webinar live. And of course, even a web trader based platform that you can access the markets easy from perhaps a phone, etc. Analytics, of course, an education as well, fundamental technical wave analysis, and a lot more, including some interesting tools like the heat map and sentiment. All right. Good to see you, Robert and Bando. Thanks for saying hi. And if you want to do that too, you can use the chat to reach out with questions. Of course, feel free to ask if something is not clear, or perhaps you want to ask for a particular instrument. Feel free to let me know. We'll start with the euro dollar, and this is an example trade I just taking on this account. It's a smaller account just for some live trades that we can show in these webinars. And basically, your dollar breaking through this resistance trend line, it had a kind of a triple bottom in a way at the weekly pivot point at the 50 fib, 113.75. I mentioned that yesterday too. I did say that if this price breaks through this trend line, that there's a chance to get to the 61.8 fib. It didn't quite get there. Let me get rid of this this fib. There we go. It didn't get there quite because we just had a triple bottom at that important support level. But that was okay. Hopefully you managed to gain the bounce, or enter the bounce, I should say, just like I did. You know, there are a couple of ways one could do that. Basically, waiting for some bullish candles like this, as price then is probably using this support level. Of course, when price is falling like this, it's good to wait because then it could get to the 61.8 fib. But then if you see a couple of candles go sideways like this, then that chance is starting to decrease. It could be good still to put the stop loss below the 61.8 at that point, because you never know. It could still be a small dip. But once price starts to break above this resistance trend line and bounces off the weekly pivot point for the third time, then it is okay, in my opinion, to put the stop loss just below this bottom, just below the pivot point of 50 fib, and put it where I have it around, where I have it about right now at 113.77. So you know, before that, this was a good moment. This was a good spot. Now it's okay to move it a bit higher because price has broken above that resistance. So it was a bit choppy week so far for the euro dollar. I mean, it started somewhere in here, right? It's gone up a bit, it gone down, up, down. Now it's seemingly starting to move with more intent to the upside, which is what I was hoping for and rooting for and expecting, considering the overall analysis. This looked like a correction, and this looked like a bullish momentum. So I was hoping for a bullish continuation. That seems most likely, most likely scenario to me. It is happening. My target is still a bit further though. My target is up here at this minus 272 target at 114.66. So let's see if it, if price manages to reach that. But so far so good. And price is trying to break through the Keltner as we speak. So that would be an important measuring point. I will manage the trade too. If there's any hesitation in the next day or so with breaking through this top, and price kind of makes a correction like this, and then makes a bounce, and there's another fractal here, then I would, definitely manage the trade to put it at break even and take the risk off that trade. So for the moment, though, I'm still patient. It is a slow mover so far, but those things sometimes happen. So I think otherwise it's looking okayish. Especially now it's trying to break, and the candles seem to be okay so far with this break. We can take a look at the 4-hour candle now. It would be good if this 4-hour candle is a decent candle. Then I think that there's a good chance of a continuation to that target. And otherwise, nothing new to add compared to last week, I think, because last week we were looking at it and it's about the same on the daily chart. Basically, there we go. Basically, price is an uptrend and has broken through 113 resistance and broke, pullback, and this is, hopefully all part of the continuation. On a 50-minute chart, I don't think there's much to add. Myself, I think that I don't see any particular setup on a lower time frame that would make sense to discuss because price has kind of been pretty choppy. It's now moving up, but I would probably not see anything for the moment. I mean, London session is coming close to an end. What is it? What time is it there? Oh, it's already closed. So we might still see some push up in the next few hours because of the New York session. That definitely could happen. I think that on a 5 or 50-minute chart, maybe if there's some kind of flag like this, there could be still a small setup remaining on these lower time frames. But it's not the best spot from my perspective right here. After also, let's also realize that 115 is pretty close. So with 115, price I think is going to face some serious opposition because it's a round level. There will be divergence between these tops, and we need to be careful how price reacts to 115 because 115 could be a level to reckon with. We don't know how price will react to that level. I would like to see it. If it goes sideways, there should be further upside extension, uptrend continuation possible to 117, 117.50. But if price then does this, right, and then starts to do this, then more reversal probably is likely. So at this moment, I don't want to make any estimate whether, if price can break really above that 115. That's also why I'm aiming my target before price hits 115, because I really don't know how price is going to respond to that. Even from a wave perspective, from a wave perspective, I think I do have an idea. I think it's going to be a correction. I think that price will probably not correct too deeply. But even if price were to go down to the 23.6 fib, for instance, I'm not sure what's the wave fib I'm using, but let's say it's this one, then even that is still a correction back down to 113. So, if this is indeed the end of this particular impulse, which I'm not 100% sure, but 115 could be the spot, then, unless it's an immediate follow through up to 117 or just a small pullback, there is a good chance of a decent correction. So that's why I just have to wait and see how price responds to 115. I really don't want to make any estimates. It's 50-50 in my view. Both are possible. Both are equally possible. 118, yeah, 117, 117.50 indeed. Yeah. And then we'll have to see because then if price gets there, this might be an uptrend. Who knows? This is maybe the end of the downtrend and up goes price. Who knows how far this uptrend can last? At this moment, it's looking like an uptrend with this speed. But timing, of course, is crucial. All right, so that's my view on the euro dollar. Thank you, Angel. I'm doing fine. We had a busy weekend, but was good this weekend. Upcoming weekend should be a bit quieter, so we're looking forward to that. Get a bit more, uh, let's say, relax a bit more. It would be nice to put the feet up in the air and stuff like that. So, but weather-wise, everything is nice here. It's 25, 30, which is perfect for a city. Enjoying the summer. I love spring and summer, so for me, this is perfect time of year. I'm enjoying it. How about you? How are you? Hopefully trading is going well with all of you. This is the dollar yen. Hopefully, maybe some of you caught the continuation here too. I did take that. You don't see that trade right now. It's because I did close it already with these wicks here. So that was a small trade from here to there. This candle, I took it on as it broke through this trend line. Something like that. So I didn't gain much. Yeah, about 20, 22, 23 pips. But I just saw these wicks and didn't, I mean, of course it could still continue. I just didn't want to be too patient with that because there was divergence between these stops. So didn't want to take that risk, so I exited the trade. But the stop loss was also pretty small as well, which was about also around 20, 20, 22, 23 pips. So it was about a one-to-one to trade, one-to-one reward to risk ratio trade anyhow. So when I saw these wicks plus the one-to-one, I decided to grab those pips. But yes, it is continuing higher. So for those that were perhaps a bit more patient than me, that's always a fine balance. How long do you remain patient when you kind of take the profit, when you manage the trade? I use always a kind of a model where I'm patient at the beginning, then I become more demanding, then I become patient as I move it to break even or reduce the risk. I become more patient again, and then when the trade goes my way the second time, I again want to lock in profit and become less patient. So I have these ups and downs and try to use different styles depending on how I think the phase of the trade is, at what kind of stage it is. Don't get me wrong. I think that despite the fact that I exited, I do think that the dollar yen in a strong uptrend. It's very strong. In fact, there's some good upside momentum here going on, and I think 115, the psychological round level, is probably doable. The thing is that price is pretty close to 115, and despite the fact that it's an uptrend, it's kind of slowing down a little bit with this motion. If you would put a top line like this on it, you can see some weak, just a tad of weakening. It's not a lot, but still there. That was another factor why I wanted to exit that trade. So I am not unwilling to trade it again to the upside, but it has to be under different circumstances. I would probably need to see a mild retracement here again, something like this, maybe something like this, or maybe not even that big, but some kind of correction. That would say to me, okay, this is a mild retracement, and I could expect follow through. Or the other scenario could be, let's see, I would probably need to see a good daily candle like this. Let me check how big this daily candle is so far. Only 49 pips. If today's candle were to close above 115, and then tomorrow we get a retracement halfway that candle, then there's a good chance of a continuation, I would say. But not at this spot. It's too close to resistance. It's looking a bit weaker on lower time frames. So I'm going to wait and hold pattern at this moment. I want to see some correction, some like this, some pattern, and then a continuation, or I want to see a break, pullback, continuation. Reversals, by the way, could be possible. I mean, it depends. We are at this top. We are at resistance. So I'm a more with the trend trader, but it's something to consider. Probably for me to consider that, though, I would need to see a bearish daily candle indicating the fact that this up run is over. So daily candle is one thing. I might need to see some 4-hour candles being bearish like this, breaking through this trend line by a bit, doesn't have to be that much. Then seeing weaker candles move up like this, and there could be then this setup for a head and shoulders. And if there's any candlestick pattern right at that right shoulder, that could be a good setup before it drops as a reversal trade. So for me to trade any reversals, some combination of these things, either a daily candle or a drop in the 4-hour and corrective upside and candlestick pattern would have to occur before I would be thinking about reversals at this moment. Otherwise, I am still more focused on the upside, but only if I see what I just mentioned already before. All right. Anyone trade the dollar yen or your dollar by any chance to the upside? Thank you, Angel. That sounds good indeed. That would be very nice. Hi, Ahmed. Good to see you. We can take a look at the pound USD right now. There we go. Well, it is behaving in a different way than I would expect. So it is going against my analysis. I did not trade the pound USD. And the reason is because when I looked at the euro pound and was trying to figure out which pair could be better to trade against the dollar for upside, because I expected both to go up, in fact. But then when I looked at the euro dollar and pound dollar, I was going to choose one of those two. And when deciding that, I looked at the euro pound. And the euro pound is an uptrend, and the euro pound was moving sideways when I looked. But before that, it was an upside. And I reckon that this sideways move is probably just a pause for more upside continuation. So the euro dollar therefore looks better. Hence, I didn't trade the pound dollar upside, which was a good decision because the pound actually moved up, but very limited. Here there was a bounce, small bounce, and here there was a small bounce. But overall, though, it's not continuing to the upside as I expected. It did not manage to break resistance, nor above this trend line, nor above the weekly pivot point. And although it had some bounce at this fib, which I'm going to draw in a second. 1 second. I just want to draw very precise with these trend lines. Roughly probably this fib, ultimately stopping at the 38 and the 50 fib. Price, then still finding lower highs for further downside. So this is ultimately a different formation probably than I'm expecting. I saw this upside momentum and I expected price to make a correction and then break above these tops. Now it doesn't look like that's doing that. It's actually now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 day was slightly bullish. It was now or never, and it became never because with this bearish candle, I think that this is looking like a correction to me now, actually. So so from this perspective, let me take off this fib. There we go. And there's probably a good chance that price will retest support down at S3, I would say even, down at this trend line. And then we'll have to see how price responds to that support level. That's maybe not the best trend line though. There's really no trend line that connects all these points that good. Maybe this one, although there's a bit of an overthrow here. So from this perspective, looking bearish, but I would not trade it right now at this moment, at least not myself. It is not a good spot. It's at the S1. It has at support at the Keltner here. I think for me to trade it, I would need to see a bear flag and then a break for the bear with the bear flag. That could be interesting because this is now in a downtrend on this time frame with space down to the support levels. So, yeah. But I would need to see a correction. The Admiral Market Pivot Point Indicator is part of the MetaTrader 4 Supreme Edition. By the way, and you can find that here, by the way, I will show you the settings here, but if you're curious to download that and the Keltner and other indicators and other advantages of the Supreme Edition, you can go to admiralmarkets.com, click on Platforms, and then click on this MT4 Supreme Edition, and then click on Free Download right here, this button. All right, and here you see, if you're curious what all the advantages are, mini terminal, trade terminal, etc., and the list goes on. Here you see the parameters though of the annual pivot indicator. It's the weekly one. And I'm not sure if you're interested in other things. I don't think so. This is just colors. No, that's not interesting. Yeah. So the weekly basically. And I used typical and standard here. For daily, of course, you can use daily pivot points if you're trading intraday. Definitely makes sense. For the moment, I'm using more weekly as I'm looking for kind of trades that are in between a few hours and 2 days, let's say. It's kind of the area where I'm typically looking at. So I tend to rather look at the weekly ones. So yeah, for me, I would need to see correction. Is it worth trading a bounce here? Is it worth trading a reversal? Perhaps because I know that I just said it's in a downtrend, and I know I just said that price, I think, invalidated my analysis. But it's still at the 61.8. It's still at this one. Is it worth it? Is it perhaps, something to think about? And I don't know. I probably say no because now that it broke to the 50, I think there's actually more space down to the next support levels. So from my perspective, I'm actually just expecting a mild sideways move and then tomorrow a continuation. So I'm not that inclined to trade this bounce. I'm not a big reversal trader anyhow, but it doesn't seem that appealing to me. Tomorrow you got also pretty good pound news. By the way, claimant count change, unemployment rate, average earnings index in the morning. I think the pound will wait for that. Yeah, we can take a look at the Aussie. Definitely. Let's do that right now. Let me clean up this chart a bit. It seems to be a bit messy. Let's refresh this template. We can take a look at higher time frames, first of all. Bullish candle last month, but price is going flat and sideways. Inside candle that was bearish last week. Testing resistance, failed to break so far many times. Price engulfing twins, small bullish candle, trying to test the weekly pivot point as we see. So this is candle number 7. That might indicate a bit of hesitation with this upside. Definitely shows that it's a bit of a hard moment, a difficult moment. It's hard spot because it moves up a lot, but this upside, this downside is almost like equal power. So it is, from this perspective, setting itself up for either a trend continuation or reversal. It doesn't seem like there's an edge in any of the two sides, to be honest. I mean, there's a huge resistance line here. I just don't like this. I must say, for the Aussie remains in a difficult spot. There's the potential for a head and shoulders like this, which was also visible on the daily chart. And on the 4-hour chart, we see that price is kind of correcting like this. I will add my 4-hour fractal. Sorry, I'm hesitating because I'm trying to, see if there's anything that might be interesting from my perspective, right? To share my views, but to cut a long story short, let's say, I'm just not a big fan of it at the moment. So that's kind of my straightforward answer at this moment. But of course, if there's anything that you find interesting, Dushan, about this pair, let me know. Maybe I can take a look at your view and see maybe you find something that I also find interesting. But at the moment, I don't see it that much. Ultimately, fractal indicators still indicating an upside, an important decision here. As you can see, those are the circles indicating an important level there. All in all, probably what I would need to see is a break above the weekly pivot point with some good daily candle or 4-hour candle. I would want to see a pullback. I don't think that that breakout will go smoothly, personally. And I think that there will be a retracement that goes pretty deep, in my view, probably all the way back to here, somewhere around the weekly pivot point or just below it. And then there is a good chance of a continuation, I would say, like that. That could be one way. If it fails, oh, you're looking for New Zealand. Okay. That's funny. Okay, I'll look at that later then. If it fails and there's a closing reversal or something like that, then I would probably keep an eye on this trend line and see if there's a break. Try to maybe sneak in the short before it tries to break the big trend line. Kiwi is really moving down a lot, by the way. Kiwi has been weak today. Maybe even one of the biggest moving currencies. We can take a look at the Euro New Zealand too. That was moving a lot. And yeah, it's really nice head and shoulders. These things really take time and you need patience for those. Look at that massive formation. And not many will have patience for holding on to that trade. But anyone who did, I didn't personally, but anyone who did was able to see some nice movement to the downside. As New Zealand weakened a lot. That's good. For those that caught it, at least. Let's take a look. Gold, no problem. We can take a look at New Zealand after this. TP for New Zealand. Definitely depends on what type of time frame you're looking for as well. But I think that if today's candle is a pretty good bearish candle, which I do expect will be, even if it traces this fib, 38 fib here at 71.44-ish would be the next major level. Interim target could be 71.75, so something like this perhaps. And anyone who wants to trade that perhaps, because now that the breakout has happened, the reversal happened here, of course, the breakout against the trend happened here. Now I don't think it's a really good moment because of the fact that I think it's not a good spot now to trade it now, considering the length it's traveled and the target, it might bounce off the first target. So does not look like a good reward to risk ratio. I would, as you probably suspect, need to see a pullback for any new entry. And that would have to occur probably on, I would probably put a fib from here to here even on today's candle. Basically, roughly speaking, I could even move it a bit here like this. And probably a 38.2 fib. If it slowly corrects upwards like that, I think that could be a good zone to look for continuations. Yeah, thank you, LM. And yes, it's being recorded and it will be on the YouTube channel and probably tomorrow morning European time. Somewhere, I don't know exactly, but anywhere mostly between 8 a.m. and noon UK time, somewhere like that. Gold is broke, yeah, broke but bounced. Yeah, it's basically this bearish candle we were talking about and slight correction, continuation basically, pushing through this support level, but ultimately still in the support zone with this bottom here. And if we put a fib, sorry about that. Okay, there we go. From here to here. Let's see. There we go. Yes. Somehow I think something's missing, but no, it seems to be correct. Yeah, price is at the 50 fib. So I have to see if the 50 fib breaks. Seems like it's bouncing actually at this moment. Look at that. There's a bit of a hook back and a bounce. You see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candle. So I don't think that this downside will continue right away. And looks like we'll get a bounce here. I'm not sure how strong this bounce will be. Do we have divergence actually? I thought we did, but no, we don't. So I would not be inclined to trade it, a reversal trade. I mean, one, I guess, might try it in this way, that see if you get a big reaction to this 50 fib and the previous bottom. But I am a bit hesitant because of the lack of divergence, and I think that this weekly pivot point is very close, plus these bottoms are very close. I would not be a big fan of trading that. I would either see if there could be a reversal at this level for the downside to 61.8, or if price does show a break above it, then that will be different, I would say, because if there's a strong candle, something like this, like this, and then a correction like that, I might consider upside. So 112, 1220, 1225, pretty important zone for up or down. If it does continue down, 61.8 fib is roughly the target. And if it does break to the upside, the target in that case could all the way be at 1340, in fact, the minus 272 target. Of course, first the top, the double top, but then the minus 272 target. Um, anyone who's looking at this and trying to trade this reversal, that would have been a sweet trade, and not easy one because it's a reversal, but yeah, that would have been a good head and shoulders moment right there. So maybe some of you caught that. Now it seems, I think, not a good spot at this moment, personally. I would like to see a 4-hour candle proving itself. 4-hour candle, probably that, yeah, has to, maybe, probably not even this one. It will probably have to be the next one, and then I hook back like this. Yeah. So I'm waiting on gold, basically. Not trading it up or down at this point. Gold reversal at 1188. 1188. This is 61.82. That could be the reversal spot indeed. But if you look at the bigger context, at the weekly chart, ultimately, the best long trades are, I think, if it breaks above this resistance trend line. And, or if it bounces at these fibs indeed. There's another scenario possible, and in fact that this could still be a bigger correction, and in fact could even test lower. So from this perspective, this, and even here are all potential bouncing spots, and this is a breakout spot. Considering last week's candle, which is pretty bearish, pretty strong, that kind of confirms my hesitation to trade it to the upside, even though I think some small retracement could happen. When considering this candle, I think it's more likely that there will be retracement than a continuation, actually. So yeah, maybe this entire zone is more of a reversal spot than really a breakout spot. All right, and now finally that out of New Zealand that Dushan was asking for. Let's take a look. High time frames first of all. We can take a quick scan of that. We can see the prices at the support. That last month was a doji. Indecision at support. We're seeing a couple of candles turn around, about to break this resistance spot, and it seems like price is making an attempt to the upside again. We had momentum here. This looks corrective, so perhaps finally we'll get the bigger bounce to the upside. And 1 hour is showing good momentum. We can take a look how far that momentum has pushed by using my whisk tool, and I'll use the most nearest bottom compared to the moving average, long-term moving average for that. And we can see the price has reached, I don't know, it's not showing up. 1 second. One second, folks. And the other currency pairs, by the way, in the meantime, I'll ask you, oh, Euro Yen. Sorry, Flavius, I see missed your comment there. You can take a look at the Euro Yen indeed. Pound Yen, that makes a lot of sense. Of course, we should look at those. All right, there we go. We're back. Somehow my whisk tool had some problem here. Let me try it again. There we go. So it seems to have reached the second level only. Alrighty. Somehow it seemed a lot further than when looking at this 1 hour chart. I don't know why, but yeah, it's not that trending mode yet. It would really have to break above this third level, 105.87, to get into a good mode up to 106.70 and then maybe even further like this. We can add the fib from here to here. And we can see that there's a minus 272 target right there. So this is the sweet zone right up in here. That's probably where we see the most momentum. Until then, I think that there is a chance, considering this pretty strong momentum, that if price makes a bull flag, it could use the same R1 for a move up to the minus 272 target. So that's something that could be interesting like this. So for the moment, I would be probably waiting for some bull flag on even the 15-minute chart probably. We just had one on the 15 actually, funny enough. Maybe the best, let me see what the best could be. Definitely good breakout. You can see 4-hour chart, good candles above the Keltner. So from my perspective, there's no hesitation. It's up. I would not be looking for any reversals at this resistance. So anyone who was thinking about that, me personally, I would not be looking for reversals at this spot. I think that momentum has proven itself. There's a breakout to the upside. I was just looking for good spots to the upside, and I think that 105.40 might be a decent level if this 4-hour candle closes something like this. Small retracement and a continuation up to 106 area. Let me get rid of this bigger fib here. And I'll put a fib from here to here for the moment. Yes, and any of these two fibs, in fact, I think could be good bouncing spots. I wouldn't expect price to retrace deeper than the 50 fib. So I would probably myself put a stop loss at 104.90-ish. But the other option could be actually just to wait for price, let a candlestick pattern occur there, probably maybe an ABC correction like this, or small corrective, and once there is a bounce, then the stop loss could be moved to the newest bottom right there. All right, then this bottom could be used either at the 38 or the 23.6 fib, as price then probably will continue to the upside. So I'm bullish. I'm just not particularly fan of trading right here. I would like to see some kind of pattern here, basically, for me to establish whether and how I would trade it. I would probably rather wait for price to get down to a fib in this case. The alternative could be this fib as well. That's the smallest swing you can have. All right. And in that case, it's about the same anyhow, 105.35, 105.18. I think those could be bouncing spots. Yes, it's true that this is a good bullish candle, by the way. So yes, price might just continue immediately like this, but I think it's, from this perspective, then I would rather skip it. It has 30, 40 pips left. It might push that in one shot. In that case, after that, I would still expect a retracement, and then I would still look for a bounce higher. So probably then I would not trade this zone unless there's maybe a 5 or 50-minute chart that might be still worth it. Let me take a look. No, not in my view at least. But doesn't mean it will not go up, but not interesting for me at least. It would have been different if maybe resistance would not be that close. I think that that this particular formation is not something I would like to trade on a 15-minute chart. I think that there are circumstances I would. I mean, if there's, yeah, if this were to turn into maybe some big correction like this, and it would have to last another 10, next couple of hours maybe. If it really goes flat for 2, 3, 4 hours after that, maybe at the beginning of the Asian session, tomorrow, the next trading day, and if it breaks out, there could be something worth trading on a 5 or 15, because then even if the target is only 40 pips away, the stop loss on the 5-minute chart is pretty small. So that could be an option there. Your dollar is moving nicely to the upside. Pound dollar is slightly bouncing in the meantime. Dollar yen is moving down a lot. By the way, we'll take a look at the euro yen right now. First, quick look at the dollar yen because that's moving a lot down. And so it seems to indeed be kind of struggling here a bit. It looked like it continued, but I was already out. But not able to break through 114.50 at this moment, moving down a lot as we speak. And it's dragging the other yen pairs as well. We'll take a look at the euro yen now. You don't see that much on the 4-hour chart. 1-hour chart, you see a bit. The euro dollar is balancing that. The euro side is balancing that, I should say. So the euro yen is still not moving all too much like the dollar yen. And this is a massive trend, by the way. And I skipped this one this morning, although I'm not sure why, because it was, well, I know why, but maybe it was not a good reason. It was already at the 6th Wiz level, so I was a bit hesitant. But I should have known that the euro yen, pound yen can move a lot more than the 6th level. So maybe I should have gone with this one rather than the euro dollar. But okay, that was my decision this morning. But all in all, it is in a massive trend, and you'll see that when I put the tool on. Wow. Yeah, indeed, it was somewhere here. There you go. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 level really pushing up a lot. And it should become a bit choppier between 6 and 7. And there's no guarantee we'll get that up to 7 necessarily either. But yeah, it is buoyant. It's in a good uptrend. It is just not easy to trade at this moment. Not from my point of view, at least. There is definitely a single divergence on the hourly chart. We see 4-hour divergence. So I would probably need to see some kind of correction on the hourly chart. That goes beyond this. We had that already, and there was anyone who took the breakout did actually pretty well, right? To the R1 could have been the target, for instance, for about 50, 60 pips. Now I would probably need to see either something similar or maybe even back down to the weekly pivot point. So that's the euro yen. I know it's a bit quick perhaps, but at this moment I don't see anything but a retracement from my perspective. That could change if, let's see, I think that's it. Dushan is saying that he's bullish too on the New Zealand. That's great, and agrees with the analysis. Perfect. And but anyone who doesn't, by the way, feel free to show your chart as well. That's also fine, by the way. But we got confluence on the New Zealand, so that's good. Angel's saying that didn't manage to install the tool. Basically, sorry for that, by the way, and but feel free to let me know through email if it doesn't work out. What you have to do is, it's a script, so you have to put it in the script folder. So when you go to open data folder, which I'll do right now quickly, and then we'll take a look at the pound yen. Sorry, it seems to be a bit slow. Maybe I need to reboot my PC here. But if you open the folder, then you would have to go to the script folder. Let me try it one more time. In the meantime, I'll take a look at the pound yen. Pound yen, of course, moving a lot more to the downside because pound is moving lower, has moved lower. Now dollar yen is doing that, so pound yen is moving a lot more impulsively to the downside than the euro yen. And here it is. Now three of them are opening, of course. It's a bit slow there. Okay, so you want to open MQL4, and then you want to open scripts, and that's where you want to paste it. Then close the MT4 again, open it again up, go to this yellow folder, go down to scripts, unfold scripts, click on the indicator, or the script I should say, then drag it to the chart on the spot that you want to start. So not just drag it anywhere, but you really want to drag it to a specific spot, the bottom or top, close or at the 144 EMA, and click buy or sell, buy for upside, sell for downside, and you'll get those automatically, those lines on the chart. Pound yen struggling at a triple top, so a bit of wicks here. If today's a bearish candle by any chance, we might see some, I would say, a potential retracement trade, probably to the S2, I think could be a reasonable target to expect. The 38.2 fib. Ultimately, though, it's also, depending on how you look at it, pretty choppy sideways move here with a slight upside edge slant. So, but yeah, this is pretty good momentum. I would probably need a confirmation with seeing a clear bear flag like this. Or if there is some zigzag, a failure to break this top could send it back down with the head and shoulders. So it is, from my perspective, despite the uptrend, looking more bearish at this moment. But certainly we have to keep an eye on this trend line break. How does it break? How does it react to this pivot point? It is a bit difficult spot because it could be a bouncing spot as well from this perspective. So I don't want to cry reversal too quickly either. I think the answer is that it's too soon to tell. I would really not want to speculate on this one, to be honest. I think it's, I would rather wait on this candle, how it reacts to this weekly pivot point. I think it's good to analyze tomorrow. I think for the moment, I don't see any trades. There is a potential for a bounce considering the triple resistance, but I would definitely need to see some good confirmation because at this moment, price is trending up and it's doing so strongly. So I think it's too soon to tell. I was definitely bullish yesterday, just to give you a perspective. And when price was basically breaking here and here, I thought those were good continuations. Now price broke this top and it started to move down quite a lot. So now it's a bit different again. So now we have to see how price responds to that. Is it a bounce, pullback? Then it might be more bullish. If it really moves sideways like that, I think it's more bearish. But I was bullish till now. However, the failure really to break above this top, these tops here, right here, so far is making the bullish trend, and plus the weakness that we see here. So that all in all is kind of shaky, making this a bit shaky, this upside. And especially now the momentum is being, becoming visible on lower time frames. So I would probably slowly edge towards reversal trade ideas, but not at this particular moment, not right now. I would probably need more price action. I think tomorrow could be a good moment to discuss probably. We'll probably know a bit more about this one. All right, otherwise, I guess we're at the end of our session as we speak. Nothing, let's see, we see S&P 500 still pushing. And we see oil moving slightly lower. And we saw a big reaction to S1 here on silver. That's about it. How do you move the tool from graphic? Which tool? You mean the Wiz tool? If you're thinking about how to, oh, the Wiz tool. Okay, great. So the Wiz tool, if you have it, for instance, here, right, and you're looking for downside targets, so you click on sell, right, and the levels are on the chart. What you want to do then, once the levels are on the chart, but you want to redraw them or do it again, these levels will stay there as long as you just don't do anything, right? If you want to get rid of them, the best, to be honest, is just to use the template again. Click the template and click the template you want to, and it will just automatically default to what you have as a template. That's the best. Or you can go to object list and then just delete them one by one. That's also possible. If you want to redraw it, the best is then to take the tool again, use the new top or bottom that you have in mind, add it, right, buy a sell again, and it will remove all the other lines that you had and add the new ones. So it will do that automatically. It will remove the old ones and add the new ones without you having to remove the old ones. So that goes automatically. So if you want to replace, no problem. Just add the tool again. If you want to remove, you can either refresh the template or remove the lines manually. So thank you so much for joining and all your questions, comments, and ideas. Great to hear them. If you want to join more Nenetiz's recap session tomorrow, and I take a look at candlestick and fibs and Thursday, we have a series of webinars on education, in fact, 3 of them. So I hope to see you then and wish you all great trading. Cheers, folks.